The U.S. is in the red. Tell you something you don't know? Well, the black widow spider's neurotoxin is 15 times more potent than that of a diamondback rattlesnake. So there won't be a video next week. My brother's getting married and I'm the best man. Lots of stuff to do. But everybody wants to talk about the debt ceiling. Do we raise it? Do we not raise it? Who's to blame? Let's forget about all this political football for a second and ask ourselves why we're even having this discussion. We're in this mess because the federal government has literally acted like a real-life equivalent of Dumb and Dumber.
What is this? Where's all the money?
That's as good as money, sir. Those are IOUs.
We're spending money we don't have on things that we don't need.
Okay, just get the bare essentials. This is the last of our dough. Hey, what do I look like?
Bailouts alone are projected to cost the federal government over $23 trillion, according to Politico. And I want to address something here. I constantly get emails saying, yeah, but what about your Wall Street Republican buddies? You supported bailing them out. Firstly, Republican, Democrat, I don't care. If you're a conservative and you support any bailouts, you're doing it wrong. And at a minimum cost of $25 billion, according to the CBO, likely more, I hate the Wall Street bailout more than most. Which reminds me, conservatives, if your money manager or financial advisor supports the Wall Street bailout, you need to drop him like a bad habit because he doesn't share your values. Well, I sat down with someone much more qualified than I, Mark Madsen, with $2.7 billion under management with Madsen money, and he had this to say. Wall Street bailout. What do you think?
It was a joke. It was a scam on the American people. It was nothing but crony capitalism. You know, as conservative as my principles are, you know, you have to be real when you're talking. You know, I was fortunate enough to interview John Boehner before he was elected speaker. And, you know, he sat right here where you're sitting. And I asked him, what about the bailouts? And he says, well, we had to do it. You know, we didn't like it, but we had to do it. Well, why? First of all, it's immoral. You know, capitalism works because you allow companies to evolve out of the system. They say, well, it was too big to fail. Well, that's garbage too. You know, the West Indies Trading Company was the largest company in the world. They employed a fifth of the whole population of the world. They had their own army. For 200 years, they made 18% on their money for dividends. They went bankrupt. No company is too big to go bankrupt. And the lie was that if you bail us out, we're going to save the whole system. So I have Main Street bailing out these people who mismanage their business model. They should evolve out of the system, make room for capitalists and entrepreneurs who understand risk so that they can maximize wealth. And, you know, but I know that it saved us 18, you know, we'd be at 18% unemployment if we hadn't done it. That's garbage. Well, I did the calculation. It's really, if we hadn't done it, it would be at 6.4% unemployment.
6.4% exactly.
Or 3. Close, somewhere in there.
That's about what I figured. This is pretty much the same number I had. It's funny. We must be using the same algorithm guy. So I really want to know, folks, what do you think of this whole situation? Is this spending necessary? Do the bailouts help anything? Let me know. And I want you to think of auto manufacturers, airlines, banks, all the too big to fail entities versus your local restaurants, grocery stores, malls, and ask yourself where you're more likely to be satisfied as a customer with their services. Hint, a never-ending supply of federal bailout cash, regardless of profit, isn't really the breeding ground for performance-based business models. And at the end of the day, the United States has no more of this, and these are maxed out. So you try going to a restaurant that way, pay your tab and see how it pans out for you.